Initially, VITURE's new flagship XR glasses, the Beast, have been quite unfinished, with quite a few problems, missing features, and on top of all of that, apparently poor availability. They promised to fix all of that in the near future, and I promised you guys to do a retest after a few weeks. By the way, this over here was my first review of the Beast. And if you're new to XR glasses, you might want to start with that one instead, because I'm not going to repeat all the basics about what these OLED-driven glasses with mobile monitors inside can do for you. So, what happened since then? Let's talk about it.
This is Hubwood.
Well, it is safe to say VITURE wasn't lazy. They released no less than 7 or 8 firmware updates since early January. Now let's see which issues and complaints I had when testing it for the first time and if they actually fixed it. Also, if you already own them, definitely let us know what you like or dislike about them. Okay, first, the refresh rate was limited to 60 Hz instead of 120 Hz. This is definitely fixed. The 120 Hz mode is available and working correctly. Though it's not working in 3D mode. That only supports 60 Hz, and I think it will stay that way caused by how 3D works with side-by-side modes in glasses. Second, the resolution was limited to 1080p instead of 1200p as promised. Well, what can I say? They finally fixed that with the last firmware update. It works. Slightly higher resolution. Third, the 3DOF anchor mode suffered from drifting issues. Well, that's a tough one. They definitely improved it, noticeably. It's not eliminated completely all the time though. Sometimes I get no drift at all, sometimes I do. Placing the Beast on an even surface at any time when you use them for 10 seconds triggers a stabilizing process that fixes it. Number 4, the material seemed to be plastic, at least around the temples here, not metal as claimed. Turns out I didn't have a pre-sale unit because I now have 2 of them here, and the temples actually are made out of plastic, which is also a bit bendable at the end for comfort. That actually makes sense. The front part of the Beast, like the main frame or whatever you would call it, that also includes the lenses and the tech, that material is metal though. I did have noticeable chromatic aberration in the outer areas of the screens, and I suspected a defective unit or a so-called lemon. In Germany we call that a Monday device, Montagsgerät. Well, turns out I didn't have a lemon. It occurs in my second unit as well. That's apparently what happens when glasses use prism lenses, just like the Beast does. Probably my biggest point of criticism overall. It's so evident that small text at the edge of the screen, like in this picture here, is really getting hard to read. It's just quite blurry. This flaw is the main reason why I personally probably would not use the Beast for productivity. You can try to avoid it by using the anchor mode that fixates the screen in one place. Then you just slightly turn your head so the outer areas of the virtual screen or the text that you want to read move to the middle of your field of view, because then the chromatic aberration is gone and it's super sharp. But that's not completely satisfying, at least for me. But it doesn't matter that much for gaming, and especially watching movies and TV shows, there it's almost irrelevant, which is why the Beast would be my favorite XR glasses for these 2 activities, definitely. Still baffles me, most reviews didn't mention this chromatic aberration at all though. The next problem was that the settings for the screen size, distance and positioning weren't saved after changing them once you turned off or unplugged the glasses. They fixed all of that. No complaints, helps in reducing maintenance. Number 7, I did have severe sound issues using the Beast for my Nintendo Switch 1 via the VITURE Pro mobile dock. But they completely fixed it, it works now without a flaw. Some source devices like certain gaming handhelds, for example my original Asus ROG Ally and more, didn't work correctly, and that seems to be fixed. I did not have any issues now. Number 9, the full brightness of 1250 nits of the OLED screens inside of here was only achievable in 0 DOF mode when the screen sticks to, like every movement of your face. Back in January, VITURE told me that their team is aware of this and they are working on adjustments. Not fixed. It's still the case. I mean, it's not a huge deal in general, especially in dark surroundings. The brightest setting actually is almost too bright, but if, for example, you need the full brightness outside on a sunny day, this could be a bit disappointing. And number 10, on some devices, like for example my laptops, the initial image was noticeably too dark, and that's not fixed, it's still the case, and I had to calibrate the Beast on multiple devices with a brighter color profile to fix that. Okay, so VITURE actually fixed many or most of these issues that I had in the beginning. Obviously, it would have been nice to get all of that from the start, considering they have been postponed multiple times starting in summer last year. And I mean, it's not a cheap product either. But hey, at least VITURE is working hard on improving them, and from what I've heard in hundreds of Reddit posts, their support team seems to be outstanding. Returns are no problem, and I'm pretty sure they will continue to work on them. Which is, well, good I guess. So what else did I learn, find out, to like or criticize in the last couple of weeks using the Beast? Let's go. Okay, so I decided that the smooth follow mode definitely is my favorite mode now. As you can also use that when laying on your side in bed, and the image turns with you, which kind of solves a problem like everyone had since TVs have been invented almost exactly 100 years ago, because the TV did not turn when we turned. Also, I actually gave the 2D to 3D mode many more tries, and I think for watching shows and movies it actually can be pretty cool. It works okay most of the time, and I can get used to the flaws that it has. Like for example, sometimes there is a weird thin line in the middle of the screen, which looks a bit like screen tearing. Be aware that for streaming via a handheld or PC in 3D, you might have to turn off GPU-based acceleration for your browser, or you'll just get a black image due to DRM protection. And the 2D to 3D conversion doesn't happen inside of the Beast. You need an end device like a laptop, a handheld, etc. that either uses side-by-side modes, or you use the VITURE immersive 3D software that converts the image for you. But for gaming, I even tried the 2D to 3D mode on very beefy systems, including a laptop with an RTX 5070 Ti, and while my FPS have been great on paper, with let's say over 100 FPS, the 3D stream actually inside of the glasses stutters quite a lot. It looks like 30 FPS with unstable frame times, no matter which settings I used for the glasses and the immersive 3D app VITURE provides. Are you having that issue as well? Let me know in the comments, please. One downside of the great sharpness the Beast has in the center of its field of view is that, for example, text on plain backgrounds gets artifacts around it, most likely from something like over-sharpening. And it looks like JPEG compression to me. I tried to simulate what it looks like in this picture. It's not that evident on a black or darker backgrounds, but it's really distracting on a white background. Another reason why I would not get the Beast with productivity as a main focus. Now, VITURE claims the Beast are the brightest XR glasses on the market with their 1250 nits, though I don't know if that also applies to the Anchor and the Smooth Follow mode, because as mentioned before, they are not as bright as the default 0 DOF mode. And I don't know why that technical limitation still has not been fixed. They also claim it has the biggest screen of all XR glasses. Now, the mentioning of the screen size in inch at a certain distance can be quite misleading in my opinion. A 174-inch screen at 3.5 meters distance equals a 500-inch screen at a distance of 10 meters. So inches don't mean that much. And I mean, it is a pretty large screen to begin with. Bigger screens would need bigger glasses or a VR headset around your face, and to be honest, with that 1080p or 1200p resolution, a larger screen wouldn't make much sense anyways. So, what would make them perfect for me? Definitely eliminating chromatic aberration, which is not going to happen because they have prism lenses. Also, maybe a bit louder speakers, just a tiny bit louder. And actually slightly bigger glasses, or at least, the portals / windows, the things you're looking through that lead to the screen, because that would also grant us some buffer zone around the corners of the screen. My concentrated conclusion, pretty simple. For gaming in 2D, on consoles, laptops, handhelds, etc., smartphones, whatever, and for movies and shows in 2D and, yeah, maybe even 3D, definitely the Beast. But for work-related tasks, to be honest, I'm kinda torn between the Beast and the Luma series, depending on how willing you are to turn your head in anchor mode for smaller text in the other regions. If you're now ready to try out the VITURE Beast for yourself and get 10% off, make sure to use the discount code Hubwood via the affiliate link in the description and the pinned comment, which makes it around $495, I think. Important fact, if you're not happy with your purchase, VITURE offers a 30-day refund program and you'll get your money back if you send them in. No questions asked. Also, if you already have a version of VITURE XR glasses or similar glasses, let me know in the comments what you like about them or what you'd want to improve. If today's video was helpful, please for God's sake, do whatever you want. But if you want to help others find this video, you know what to do. Thank you very much. And that's everything for today. Thanks for watching until the very end. See you next time. Bye bye and tschüss.